I'm Reda Jube, student number 150259. Okay, so I'm going to do my game proposal for Hellion Hunter. And as you can see, I'm Reda Jube, 150259. And so I'm going to start with now the concept overview. I'll be following with the following concepts for genre, concept, key selling points, and visual references. For the genre, I added for a MOBA, for an offline, for a third and first person shooter, and including for a survival. As you can see from the image here, it's like I've had this idea of this battle arena inside like a bowl with a higher walls, and you can see this real person at the bottom over here. Just the idea of how I want this world to look like. This humongous world, and that you survive in this gigantic area. With the concept, you as the player have to reach the rendezvous point using a formidable of guns in order to survive against like-minded players and dangerous monsters. With the key selling points, you have various characters to choose from and to buy from. There are also monsters that obstruct the game as well, including other players, to play against each other, either online or offline. Also, the area is vast, which means to explore more. Now for the visual references, I have various other games here, including for Dauntless, where it involves with the day-night cycle and with monsters. Now with God Eater Burst as the anime game that involves with guns and monsters, and the mainly game that I'm going for is for monsters, for Monster Hunter, well, various other Monster Hunter games. And then for Horizon Zero Dawn, which is dynamic weather, where there's like sun and then there's snow and then there's rain and all that, and there's like an immersive of open world. And same as well for Borderlands 2, with open world with guns, and then Dragon Hunter as for monsters. Now I'm going for game references, which I'll be following for gameplay similarities and market infiltration. For the gameplay and similarities, the games that I'm following is Paladin, Overwatch, and Battleborn. They all share the same mechanics and idea that requires of shooting and characters. And then continuing, where Monster Hunter shares the same idea where they have lots of monsters that you can kill. As you can see, there's various monsters from Creature Box. And then for the market infiltration, which is monsters, obviously, it is a competitive multiplayer game. It is free to play, and there are lots of characters you can choose with lots of customization to buy. So now I'm going for the target market for who and why. For who, the target market I'm going for is the people that like to play to win, and that are competitive and also like to survive against like-minded players and dangerous monsters. And why? There is a strong market with MOBA games, and people love where they can choose what characters that has a special ability that suits to them, so they can play against other players. Now we're following for a monetization model, including for capabilities and limitations. Capabilities. I'll be using the following softwares as Unity, using Playmaker for Unity, Blender, 3D Code, Substance Painter, and Krita. The limitations are where there is only one person working on the game and had to make it a year while designing the game. For the target platform for how and why. The how, the one thing I'll be following mostly is PC, but I might add for PS4 and Xbox One. And why? So I've got a chart here of the developers that were working on games that were developed in 2016, and PC is still dominating. For PC, 52%, and then it's mobile games, but then PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is now increasing, catching up. Now for the monetization model, I'll be following for emotions, engagement loops, and product catalogs. For the emotions, one is that competitive. It is an esports game that can be used for online game or LAN. It allows the player to level up to unlock certain characters that can allow the players to experiment with more different characters. And then the other is avatar cosmetics. Here it is where the player can express themselves using skins for the character, and also shows that you are loyal to the game. People have the urge to personalize their character and love to try new characters. Now for the engagement loops, I want the players to try out new characters when they have leveled up, but I can allow the players to play with real money if they really want to unlock the character or customization. And as of the image over here, here's the engagement loop. So time to play is slow, so the game can take some time. But you earn in-game currency that you can spend on unlockables, characters that you like to spend on. But if you want it so badly, you will have to spend the real money or the in-game currency. And then when the player levels up, like when you've leveled 15 now there are unlockables that you can get to try the new character's abilities when you can buy it, and also like customization. And then you can just show off your new skins to your like. And then back again, show off your skills, time to play again, level up. For the product catalogs, for the launch, Hellion Hunter will only have 5 characters that will only be available to play, the rest are for sale. For launch, I will use the props that other games want to advertise for the games. Like for example, I can take like Overwatch and use their like the environment designs and add there and kind of like advertise for their game. Hellion Hunt will only sell characters when they want to buy the character before they level up. The players will be motivated to purchase the characters. The characters will range in the price from $5 to $10. And Hellion won't sell skins or customization, only will be selling the content in the future. And I also want to let people sell the skins for the characters or make characters to make money for them and the game. Now for the marketing. So the steps that I want to use for marketing strategy are as follows. First of all, I would like to use Facebook because I have seen successful projects that have made use of Facebook page. Secondly, I want to use blogging to make it accessible around the internet and can link to the Facebook page. Thirdly, vlogging on Facebook around the internet can link to the Facebook page. And it also helps to let the people know what is happening during the development of the game. Also, same as well for vlogging on YouTube. It's the same to Facebook. And then I can use various other medias like Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, etc. And then for the Indiegogo or Kickstarter campaign to make money for the game and to help to make the game even better. Necessary elements to a successful game, such as adding voice acting, better cinematics, and have some interesting perks. Likewise, it is a great way to sell the art to potential players and to also tell them more about the game. The money that is gathered through Indiegogo Kickstarter will then be put back in the game I'm working on, and as well extra classes that can help me improve games immensely and also hire experienced people for the game, as well as use Loot Crate to sell my goodies. Now for my player incentives, I'll be following why would they buy your game and why would they want to continue playing your game. Why would they buy your game? Firstly, it is free to play. But customization characters are the one that will be selling. But the reason why they will come back is because I want to try add more and different kind of skins and characters. Why would they want to continue playing your game? There will be different and new kind of customizations and new maps and types of daily quests and gameplay. So for the prototype iterations, I'll be following gameplay samples of your design process and document changes per iteration. Now for the gameplay samples of the design process, I'll quickly go and play the prototype that I've been working on. And as you can see, I have a normal UI design, quick for prototype, so that I can show them what you need to do for the game. As you can see, WSD to move, left mouse to shoot, right mouse to zoom, and all that wonderful things. And as you can see, get to the roundest point, as like what I've said into my game proposal. As you can see, I've added some shooting targets with a little like gun sound effect, and you can zoom in from third person to first person with a little cursor, and then you can even reload as well, you can jump, and then it also has like a day-night cycle as well. As you can see, there's the rendezvous point over here, and I just have to run all the way to it. And then we'll have a timer as I get in there, but there's a catch as well. It only comes in the evening. For example, where as the night comes, the rendezvous point will pop up, but you only have some certain amount of time until the day comes again. And then you have to wait until the next night comes again to get to the rendezvous point. As you can see now, it's getting dark. So I can see it has this blue color, and even the fog is changing color as well. And that's my whole entire prototype for this game. As you can see, it's got a health and some bullets, so I'm just going to shoot. As you can see, reload automatically, which is actually a very cool feature as well for mobile shooter games and all that. Okay, And for the document changes per iteration, from what I have got from Google Forms, these are the things that people have recommended me for me to add the game, or if I want to remove the game or fix things. So I fixed the player jump to allow the player to jump once. Like there's one time in the game where the jump can go for infinity. I fixed the glitch with the camera, and normally I had 3 cameras in the scene. Now it's only 1. And I've added animation for the zoom in and the zoom out for the camera, added a crosshair for the zoom in, and then sometimes I've also realized that you can go through the buildings, so that's not supposed to happen, and I've added some colliders. And I also fixed the reload, so instead of like pressing R and automatically reloads, you still have the reload bar and all that. And then I've also added target practice and added day-night cycle, and when the night comes, the random flip point to rise. Now for the modular design, which elements could be reused in other projects? So the following that I'm going to use: the animations that I have for my characters, the mechanics that I've used for the game, and the coding, and the characters. So the playtesting methodology: how do you test your assets is the player's feedback. So I use Google Form. It is free and it's easy to use, and it's also by letting people know to test out my prototype to get some constructive feedback. So from the user back, what's the summary of the feedback findings? And so for the summary of the feedback findings, so I can click on this link. So I can see I got like 17 responses, which was very nice for me to quickly get some great feedback. And now for the analytics in interpreting player behavior and feedback. Now for this was very interesting from when I shared my prototype to various other people. From the player behavior, the majority is that they find the game interesting and that it has potential, which is good news for Hellion Hunter. The feedback the players gave are different compared to the people that know game design and compared to people who enjoy playing games. But on either side gave good constructive feedback. Like the people that know game design gave more simple, constructive feedback, where the gamers gave lots of feedback of how they feel of the game. And for the resources, what do you have or need to make this game? So what I have currently is that I have free assets from the asset store that can help me plan for the game. What I do need for this is servers, or I can use the online cloud, or rent a data center that I can use to make an online game. And so for the estimated cost, so I use PayScale. So this is like for normal salary for a male my age that have 2 years of experience. This is how much it would have cost me annually as a salary, and that's about for like 46,000 Rand per month. And then I can use that for personal use such as daily needs, extra classes, art books, visit other game designers and all that. But the other costs, I haven't calculated all the costs because I have so many things that I would like to add for the game, like servers, online cloud, rent data centers, debuggers, voice actors, and music composers, publishing and project selling, perks for crowding campaign, and more cinematics, etc. And now for the draft schedule. So the draft schedule, I use MindMeister to help me to have a workflow of the game. So I'm going to show you how the MindMeister looks like. You'll see now. For Hellion Hunter. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit because it's got a big workflow here. So in the beginning, it's like you have your normal story, so we have to create a log line, get to game pitch and all that. Got concept art for the second part, then do 3 for modeling, 4 prototype, 5 final touches, and render, blog, and campaign. So this helps me tremendously of how to make my game. Then for the bibliography, as you can see, I mostly use for the MindMeister, and I use PayScale's website, use the Google Docs to show you the spreadsheet, and all the images that you've seen on the side of this screen is that all the images were found on Pinterest. Thank you.